Okay, now on to placing materials. So this is something that you've seen me do probably in the last video to make this variation white. I did it really quickly. Um, but what you want to do is these are your different modes. You're going to switch to material mode, and you're going to select something that you want to choose the material on. Um, Before I continue, I want to let you know that Lumion groups things by material IDs. So if you have more than one item with the same exact material, let's say it's the default material, and it's because it's a generic model that you just modeled in place in Revit, and you have 100 different items with this material on it, it's going to group all of those items together. So you want to make sure that every item at the very least has a different material. And you want to do this strategically. There may be some times where you want two items to have the same material, but in a lot of cases you don't. So we're gonna select the road in this mode, and then you have various indoor, outdoor, and you have it used to be custom. Now it's this is custom is something different. But for under new, you have all your different types of glasses. You can just do like a basic glass if you wanted to, or advanced glass. It allows you to like add different colors. Um, there's a lot of different things you can do with materials in Lumion. We'll just do an asphalt. There's a couple of really cool things even with asphalt that I could show you. One thing with asphalt that I'll show you really quick is you can add weathering to it, make it look like it's a little worn out under weathering here. And you don't want to go too crazy because then it starts to discolor. And you want to select different type of weathering depending on what type of object you're working with. So you see we have wood and leather and different various types of metal and plastic. So that's a pretty handy thing. You can change the scale of the image with this slider. Displacement is like your bump map. So if I come in really close and I mess with this displacement, you'll see it looks like it's moving up and down. Obviously, that's actually just an optical illusion that's being done just with shadowing. Um, so there's a lot you can do with textures here. You can add like plants, like foliage. So now it looks like there's certain leaves. You change the leaf size. And you could really just kind of have fun with your materials. One really cool thing that I really like to do when I import a site, for instance, is I like to select it and then I'll make it, I'll turn it into landscape. Um, It'll just take me a second to find it. Outdoor. I think it's a new. So if you go to new, select the landscape, now it kind of blends in with your landscape there. And what's really, really cool about this is now you can come in here to the landscape tab and you can start to paint on this surface. We'll change the brush size, speed up the brush so it's a little bit more harsh. You can make it less harsh if you want to. Notice it's going a little slower. And there's all these different textures that you can apply to make your site just really, really look nice. The way you go into those textures is you click on that arrow there and you can select the different textures. Now you want to be careful because it will replace anything that you've already painted. So like this, I've used this material. If I replace it with something else, now everything that I've painted that color changes to that. So that's something you want to be careful of, and you are a little limited, but that's something that's really nice about Lumion is you can actually now mess with your model. You can paint on your model. There's some other things you can do with this landscape tab. Because we live here in Utah, I like to um, add heights, add like mountains, um, and so you'll just click on that height button. And again, it's just like the paint tool. You can change the brush size and the brush speed, um, and you can really just have some fun with your landscape here. And I do believe Lumion treats your anything that's labeled as landscape like a landscape object. So you can actually stretch and pull your model as well. So those are just some of the different things that I do to add textures and style to my models. Thanks.